You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Welcome back to
out
Handcuffs
there.
and Sage.
Hey out there in quarantine land.
Yeah, we're doing this remotely again. We're all separate. We're all separated. What is this? Going on week 4 of quarantine, and now we've been extended until the 15th of May.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting week. Definitely.
Really?
It's been an interesting March.
Yes. Interesting March. So this is Red. Hey.
Hey, Red. I'm Timo.
And I'm Dre.
So this week has been a crazy time. I'll talk about.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh my God. So I've been very anxious this week. I've gotten kind of a notice at work. Like any day, we're going to find out like what's going to happen. It kind of looks like we'll probably get laid off or furloughed. So I've been on edge this week, definitely. And I really need to work on reining that in and not letting it rule me.
Right.
When I get anxious, I cannot sit still. And I swear I have cleaned, organized, scrubbed just about everything. And it
Girlfriend, you need to rub some of that shit on me because I'm a lazy fat ass right now where I should be doing shit and I'm not.
Well, I'm a fat ass. Just cleaning and
well,
eating
I'm
drinking.
one above you, babe. I'm a lazy fat ass.
Stop.
Oh my gosh. It's just been a crazy week. And then we found out this is going to be extended to May 15th. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like on social media, there's just been like a turn of tone with people.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are being very negative and almost saying just things that it kind of like blows my mind,
right.
about her situation. Right. And I just think I need to work on not feeding into anxiety, not getting carried away with worry, just kind of try to be more positive about the good things that we have going on right now.
Right.
And, that's not easy for me. I'm so crazy, but I feel like I'm really trying to stay present. I'm really going to try to be positive and not feed into all the negativity I feel like I'm seeing. Do you guys feel like you're seeing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like people that I wouldn't even think are like, fuck the government. I'm not doing this shit. And like, whoa.
Yes.
Really?
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that at all. I've noticed the people that are scared because they're like, fuck, I don't have a job. I don't have this. I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I
sure.
haven't come across any type of like hostility.
Yeah, I'm seeing it a lot. I guess Dre and I are friends with crazy people.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's just part of it. That's just
okay.
one segment.
Yeah.
No, I lied. I did see part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some of that, but there is a lot of people saying, yeah, fuck the government.
Mm-hmm.
This is my freedom. This is my right. I'm going to do whatever I want. There's just a lot of tones like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of political posts that kind of blow my mind. I don't know, but I always think about like when I met that person and how I thought they were cool and we were friends. And I'm like, this person is crazy, dude. This person is nuts. So I feel like after quarantine vacation, relationships will be changed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I believe
for sure.
I think we're getting to get to know each other much better.
Yeah.
Well, we're courting each other now.
Right?
We're courting each other like the old fashioned
online dating.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I never thought I was going to online date, but here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating friends. That's what's happening right now.
Yep, that's right.
What about your week? Anything new? Anything good? Anything good?
My week was actually great. I'm working from home. I'm getting used to working on my itty bitty laptop compared to my 2 huge monitors at work.
Yeah.
Having to read numbers. I'm in accounting, so I have to deal with numbers. The exciting thing that happened was my younger son that had a full leg cast got his cast off.
Yay!
Yeah.
You posted the picture. He didn't look thrilled. He was such a little teenager in that picture.
Yeah, he wasn't thrilled to be taking a picture, but I'm sure he was thrilled to take it off.
Right.
I know. I get this like
love it.
The only way I can get was to sorry.
That's okay. The thing was his leg was so stiff it was hurting him. So he was in a lot of pain, so he couldn't really enjoy the first day of not having it. But like today he came down and he kind of came hopping down the stairs, and I go, babe, how'd you sleep last night? He's like, fine. I'm like, you got to sleep in any which way position you wanted to. And he's like, oh yeah, that was cool. I'm just like,
great conversation.
Yeah,
teenager.
Yep.
Best conversations ever.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Dre. So how's it been?
So I've been working.
My hubby was asking.
Yeah.
He was like, how's she doing? We'll find out.
We had this conversation at work because right now I'm literally just doing telephone calls and I have no contact with any people at all in my office.
Really?
Yeah. And we're usually a 4-person team, and they're keeping one of us in the office, and then they're sending the other ones to a labor pool. So if they're needed elsewhere, that's where they get sent. We have a lot of people, a lot of nurses who are out, or they have, reasons to not be at work because they have pre-existing conditions and they cannot be at work. So they're out. And so we're covering those positions, but we're not in the hospital. So that's my only saving grace, right? That's the scary part. So I'm very safe. We had this conversation about how I feel a little bit, I think the word is embarrassed that everyone's oh, essential workers, we're so proud of you guys. And I don't feel like I should be a superhero or anything like that. It's I'm just doing phone calls. I'm not really doing anything at all. There might come a time when I do have to do that, but right now I'm pretty, I call it I'm a non-essential essential worker. I feel pretty non-essential.
I love it.
I don't feel like a superhero or anything, or I should be getting any accolades. That's all.
Well, we think you're essential and a superhero.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, Dre. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
We are. I want to put it out there in the universe. If anyone's listening, some badass out there. I want masks that say handcuffs and sage. I think that would be so fun.
Yay!
To have masks that say handcuffs and sage. If we're going to sport this look, we should represent.
I will wear that. Okay.
That would be so awesome. If I got
send that on
material, you know what? Let me check into that, because I have made custom material before that I can actually do off our logo. I don't know when we can get it, but no, I have done that. I don't even know why I didn't think about that, because I've had a lot of custom made material made out of logos and stickers and things. So
yeah,
let me check into it. I'll let you know.
Craft time.
Yeah. We're gonna have Timo's Craft Corner.
I love it. All right, y'all.
So can we talk about cults of personality?
Oh, this is a great episode.
It's my favorite.
It's only number 2.
Yeah.
Yes, episode 2, Cult of Personality, and that is the perfect name for this episode.
So crazy.
So when we start this episode, it starts out with a 911 call, right?
Right. Oh God, I have a problem. Can we? Okay, after you say this part of the thing, I want to discuss something, because I kind of have an issue. But go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
so the 911 call comes on, and it's a lady.
Oh, yeah. So there's an employee hurt by a tiger, right? They're calling for help. And you're hearing him say the arm is completely gone.
Right. Well, it's a lady.
The arm is completely gone. You see Joe, he's whipping off his belt, right? And he's saying, we don't have time to waste. He's getting down and he's putting the belt around, and it's Saf's arm.
Right.
And she's just laying there, and maybe Dre can talk about this. She's not saying or doing anything.
No.
It
blew my mind. So I'm assuming she's in shock, right?
Yeah. It's like an adrenaline rush, definitely. And
yeah. And I actually saw an interview with her this week on TMZ or one of those channels. And she said that she did not feel a thing. When it happened, she didn't feel a thing. She didn't feel anything until they actually were driving away in the ambulance. So whatever that amount of time, she said she didn't feel anything. So I think that is exactly why she's just laying there like, whoa, what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
And how long does shock like that usually last?
I'm not sure. I don't even know.
I mean, it kind of blew my mind. And when they were trying to talk to her, she really couldn't even answer. You could just tell she was in this zone.
Right.
And, they're getting the stretcher out. They're trying to get to her to help her. And then we see Joe all of a sudden wearing a paramedic jacket. Like, where did he get this paramedic jacket? Did he have it like ready to go in case of an emergency like that? That kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
And he goes into the gift shop, and you guys want to talk about what he said?
This was so weird.
This is just
bizarre how he says this.
Yeah. So Joe is wearing this amazing paramedic jacket. It's not even a regular paramedic jacket. It's kind of awesome. It's fabulous, right? He's wearing this jacket. He's walking into the gift shop, and what he says is just phenomenal, right?
It's so crazy. I don't even know if that's like the professional thing to say for such a business that he has.
No way.
But he says it anyways. No. Like, hey, guess what?
It's not professional. Not professional at all. And that's why we love Joe. Not professional at all. He walks in and he says, ladies and gentlemen, before you hear this on the news, a tiger here has ripped off a worker's arm. If you want your money back or a voucher to come back, please just let me know. It was amazing. The look on everyone's face in the gift shop, just standing there like, what did he just say?
Like, are we in a camera? Like, what?
It was like, yeah, it was amazing.
Right.
So then, and this is my favorite quote of the entire series. He's walking there. You can see he's processing things, right? And he says, I am never going to financially recover from this.
So he thinks he's going to be sued for every penny he has from Saf.
He's thinking about himself.
Right.
And here's Saf lost her freaking arm, and he is like, my business is done. I'm done. I'm never going to come back from this, right? So he's thinking about Joe, which is shocking because he never really thinks about himself.
Right.
Right. It is shocking. So then we have, Saf talking about what happened. And again, she's sitting in front of a trash heap. And after you see what she's gone through, it's like, really? You did these interviews in front of a trash heap? It almost seemed worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're talking about what happened. It's all over the news, right? She's saying it's all over the news. Everyone's talking about it. John Reinke and Joe Exotic show up to the hospital. They hand her a pen, and she actually said that her hand could still kind of work. Like she was able to sign her name. Yeah. Right.
Well, basically what happened was she was just degloved. And degloved, what that means is it's like you're taking off a glove, but her skin just completely off of the bones of her arm. So that can be put back on. And that's what they did, because in the interview that I saw earlier this week, she had pictures of herself in the hospital, and there's a picture of her fully bandaged up, and you can see her hand with her thumb sticking out. So she did have a full arm with a hand and everything.
That is bonkers to me.
Right.
I feel like, most people, you ask them like, hey, you want this amputation or you want to do this surgery that's going to be painful and whatever? Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to keep my arm. The mentality here is just insane. But I have to give it up to Saf, because she actually saw like in the future, and she knew why she had to get rid of that arm.
Yeah, she was really thinking about Joe. like she really is one of Joe's people. She was thinking about Joe and the zoo.
Right.
And she just said, fuck it, like
Yeah.
a total badass, amputate the arm. And she said that she was back working at the zoo 5 days
That
after
is
that
insane.
amputation.
Yes. That is
You know,
craziness.
did you
Yeah.
guys catch her reasoning though? She said, our mission is to give these animals a fighting chance. And she knew that if she had gone through those 2 years of surgery, those animals would have suffered for it.
Yeah.
I just think that Saf is just a fucking
Mhm.
badass through and through. And she's like one of my favorite people. And I love how chill she is about the whole thing. And she said something that kind of gives you insight too, that she's like, it's not that big of a deal. I work with a guy
Yeah.
without legs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. Like
It
that
really
guy has
puts
it worse than
things
me.
into
Yeah.
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. So she thinks of things like that. She's a super cool, calming person. I really like her. So she's talking about John,
Right.
obviously, and how he has 2 missing legs. So then they're having an interview with John, and you see it like his legs, his fake legs. I don't know what it's called, that material that they're made out of, but they're like all tattooed up. Like he's got them decorated, right?
Right.
They're actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
So then he explains how this happened. And it's not because of any animal or attack or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
It was a zip line accident. And he said he had a zip line accident. And it kind of took me a moment to like process, like, what happened? He fell. He fell 50 feet
Mm-hmm.
and he crushed his feet and his legs. And I think
His back.
part of his back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he tried to kind of just move on and continue to walk. He said like 20 miles a day or something because he was still like working at the zoo.
Yes. And he didn't
And
develop the muscles that he needed to.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so awful.
Yeah.
I think about the pain he must have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
He said he was walking on bone. That's wow. So then, yeah, he lost both legs, but he's like all positive about it too. He's like, whatever, they're badass. They look super cool.
Right.
I love them. Like, no big deal. I think everyone could learn something from the people that work at Joe's Zoo. It's all about perspective, right?
For sure.
That's a good message for quarantine time.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And they have like quick clips of Rick Kirkman, you know, the guy that helped Joe put his whole like show kind of together. And he's like, it's really just addicting to be around the animals. So no matter what happens to you, you're just going to figure it out so you can still work and be around the animals.
Yeah.
Like it's an addiction.
Exactly.
He said that it was the feeling of power that you get from being around them that is so addicting. And I think that's true.
Sorry, I'm taking a sip of wine.
Me too.
Shocker on drinking. Okay.
So you guys, have you noticed that when they talk about Saf, obviously Saf she was born a woman. Right. Now I'm not sure what her transitioning is, but it goes back and forth. I've noticed people calling her him and then her, him, her, him. Right. And I know that's a whole like people have to set their limits on their pronouns. And you know, I know that's a big issue right now. But I don't know. I kind of had an issue with it because I've just kind of, I don't know if she's being, you know, like she cringes every time, you know, someone says that because she is I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Think that Saf
you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, she is too awesome to let this get to her. And I think maybe out of respect, we should start calling him the proper pronoun because this is something that Netflix did not touch on, which I was really bothered by. You guys know I'm an infectious disease nurse, so I'm all about the LGBTQ and more community. So Netflix didn't even touch on the fact that she was a transgender or transitioning person, and they refused to call her by that pronoun. But when you look up, like, say, IMBD, it does say he lost his arm.
Right. Yeah.
And so
even in the 911 call, it must have been someone that worked there calling 911. She goes, he's lost his arm. So she first starts off and says him. And then, but then Crocodile Dundee guy, what's his name? Kirkman.
Yeah.
He called her. So I don't know. I was a little bit bothered by that too, but whatever. It doesn't ruin my love of this series.
Yeah.
I completely agree. So we're gonna staff with him,
Yeah,
and that's how it is, right?
Cool.
All right, awesome. So, Dre, were you saying that you're also drinking
wine?
Oh,
just a red
what kind of wine are you drinking?
Something that Ricky just brought me.
Red wine.
I drank all my red wine in like 3 days. My big box. I can't believe it.
You drink your big box?
Yeah, and it's 4 bottles is what a box holds. So yeah, you can see where I'm at
4 bottles
in my
in
quarantine.
You're doing well, and I love that. I know you're working too.
That's not when I'm working though. That's just like from like 5:30 to bedtime. Yeah, I'm hardcore. I am hardcore. So today I'm drinking vodka and Crystal Light.
Woo.
Yes.
That reminds me of junior high. That's nice.
It's the keto drink.
It is the keto drink. I want to give a quick shout out because I told all y'all I found my favorite wine ever.
What is it again?
This week. Simpler Wines at Trader Joe's. They have different flavors. I love the peach. I am addicted. I love it.
Does it come in a can? Okay.
Yeah, it's can wine. It's so good. Oh my God, I love it. I do.
Okay, great.
I love it. If we weren't in quarantine time, I'd go and get more. But so good. Yummy.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay, so if anyone wants to send us simpler wines, okay, let me know. All right, so moving on. So we cut to a scene and we see Doc Ansel riding an elephant, and the music is from The Wire. You guys,
I love the song.
Did you guys
I don't know that
Wire?
show, but I love the song so much. And he's just cruising through the neighborhood on his big fucking 300-ton elephant.
It's perfect. Down by the water. And he's like,
Doc is insane. He's nuts.
He's nuts. I love everything that we learned about Doc. He's then, on top of Bubbles, and they're going down to the water, and they're swimming with the elephant. People are on their boats taking pictures.
Yeah, the boat is cruising by, and they're like, "Oh, that's a man on an elephant in the river."
Yes. So here's Doc Ansel. He's saying there's nothing cooler, sexier than a tiger. And then it cuts to, and I put that bitch Carole Baskins talking shit about people taking pictures with tigers. Like, there's these people out there and they just want to take sexy pics of tigers. Okay, so she's just talking shit about people taking pictures with tigers. And we know this bitch takes pictures with tigers, right? Okay. I'm sure we can find some. So then we go back to Doc.
Yeah, so
and
this is the wackadoodle quote that he says. He's like, "It has its primordial calligraphy. It tells a message just in its very image. Everyone loves a tiger, and if they say they don't, they're either insane or broken." So yeah.
Yeah, he's a very intense
I don't know what
person,
primordial calligraphy
very
has
intense
to do with anything, but whatever.
They were fun words for him to say, so he said them. I think Doc does a lot of that. So then we see Joe, and they're saying, Joe breeds tigers, and he's wearing this like hot pink sequins, low cut top, holding.
Yes, it's so fabulous.
I love it. He's holding these baby tigers, right? And he sells them. That's how he is making money. So now we're like, okay, he breeds them. He sells them, right? And John Finley, his husband, is sitting where he does his interviews the whole shirtless, toothless. And he really is a sweet teddy bear, this guy, John. I really do like him. And he's saying, he drove all over the place selling, I quote, lions, tigers, and bears.
And some ligers.
And he was saying that he had been to at least 38 states selling these exotic animals. And then we found out, and this was mind-blowing, a baby tiger goes for
$2,000.
$2,000. And I was like, how do we get this money together? So
we could have a tiger.
Right. And then Joe is saying, well, it's
darn.
illegal now. So, I'm sure that kept them from doing that. Right. So Tim Stark, he's this guy that he owns Wildlife in Need. And so he's doing his own interviews. And he said if people really cared about animals, they should donate money to help take care of these animals. So there wouldn't be all of this shadiness going on, but people ain't doing that, right? And everyone's bought from Joe, bought from Doc. Like, it's a whole thing. They're all doing it with each other. And then you see Carole in front of her computer, and she says, I posted online like 28 different places. Bad Guy Network. That's what they are. They're a bad guy network selling these cubs. And I just thought, oh my God. And she is in that bitch network. She's that bitch in that bitch network. Okay. So she's just talking shit about Joe and all these other guys selling and breeding cubs. And they are, almost extinct, right? These aren't endangered species. Right. So breeding kind of makes
Tim Stark says, he's like, they're endangered. So what do you do when they're endangered? You make more. Duh.
Yeah. So that's what they were talking about. So then Joe's sitting there and he's like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. This woman is obsessed with me. And I just crack up because they're obsessed with each other. They are obsessed with just poking each other over and over and over again. And then we have Carole, and she's talking about Mario Bro.
Yeah.
And
I love this guy.
This new character that they're introducing. Love it. So there's Mario Bro, and he is part of selling animals, and I guess he was one of the biggest drug dealers in Florida, right? And they were saying that he's like the Tony Montana.
He even said that he thinks that they modeled the movie Scarface after him.
Yeah. What was it? He
said
That's bananas.
That scene where they had like the cases, the suitcases of money going into the bank. He said he literally actually did that.
Yeah. But he's like, it wasn't a fat guy in a van. It was me by myself in a convertible Corvette.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. So then they show this guy, and we're meeting Mark McCarthy. Mark McCarthy. And he was a
oh my God,
employee.
I can't believe this story.
And he said, people would ask me all the time, aren't you scared of this guy? I'm like, why are you working for him? He's like, are you kidding? He's got the best animals. Right. This guy worked for a straight up drug dealer, like killing people, selling the drugs, doing all the things so he could hang out with these animals. So animals are an addiction, right? People will see past everything.
Yep.
To play with the kitty cats. Okay, I'm switching my paper.
And then Mark McCarthy also said that people would drive by Mario's house all the time and scream, Tony Montana.
That's hilarious.
I
would totally do that if I passed by.
Yeah, I just love it. Yes. Are you guys doing anything? Maybe we could drive to Florida just to Tony Montana and then drive home.
What is this? He has a zoo with many, many animals there, and you can't just go to the zoo, right?
Yeah, it's a private.
No,
it's all his private collection. Yeah.
So Mark is saying. Right. So Mark said he had cheetahs, leopards, all these different exotic animals, and he would smuggle these animals just like he smuggled drugs, right? And okay, so I am very torn.
Are you going to talk about snakes?
Anyone to get upset with me?
Yes, I knew it because I'm like, oh my God.
I'm really struggling with this because I'm against. I don't like snakes. But what they did is awful. They would cut open these snakes, put cocaine inside, and then stitch them back up
Mm-hmm.
and then smuggle the drugs that way. And there was a news article. It said agents found 223
Yeah.
live
so
snakes
crazy.
stuffed with drugs.
Oh my God. And
That
then they
crazy.
yeah,
So
and then
I don't
they
like
said they
snakes,
also
but this
said
is
that
awful.
they didn't care if the snakes lived or died either. So that's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh God. I just think of all those roly-poly snakes, and like, what if cocaine like burst in one of them and that snake was, oh shit, like had the best high
This
ever and
actually
then
went through your
died.
head.
Oh my God.
I
Yes.
think that's the best part. You actually thought this one out.
I have all sorts of fun thoughts all the time. So Mario pulls up and he's kind of like taking us around to his home and what he has, right? So he's a guy with big cats. So you see him playing with these big cats, and they have like these, huge areas. He's throwing like tires.
Yeah.
He's playing
like their dogs.
He's playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like their dogs. And he says, Carole Baskin uses him as a poster child, she says he should not have any animals because he's a convicted felon. And he feels like, I did my time. I did what I was supposed to do. And she's, kind of bullying him because of this. I think, he was willing to stuff snakes with drugs. I mean, as an animal lover, that would be a red flag for me. Right. So he said he did this drug enterprise for 10 years with his father, Guillermo. And then they tell this really crazy story. And it's about Larry Nash. Do you guys remember this story? So the way he tells it is Larry Nash was a drug informant, and that one of his workers shot this informant, and then they had to cut up the body and then obviously burn it. Sure. And
right.
Well, I mean, obviously. Come on, you guys. Keep up. Okay. So he was just basically saying, like, what was I going to do? Like, say, I am this drug dealer. I do all these things, but I didn't cut up this body. It doesn't matter. I was there, even though I didn't do it. I was there. I was part of it. Right. So he got sentenced to 100 years. He won his appeal. So he ended up doing 12 years. So he's talking about how he got into the big animal scene, right? When he was growing up, his mom was very anti-pets, wouldn't let him have any. So when he left home, he immediately went and bought 3 Great Danes. So he just kind of went cuckoo for,
it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
All of a sudden, 3 giant dogs, right? 0 to 100. And then he thought, hey, I'll also, buy a cougar, maybe some lions, okay, maybe some tigers, let's throw some monkeys on there, right? He just kind of went with it. And there's all these like really cool old school photos of him with all of these animals. And then he shows that he had known Doc since 1982, the year of my birth. And Doc helped him out when he got out of prison. So they've been friends. And so they've known each other for a long time, but they showed pictures of Doc back in the day with this tiger that just such a,
oh my God,
perfect,
it's
like,
so wild
picture to me. It's great. And then Mario's like, yeah, he looked like Yanni. Just totally did. I really like Mario. So then they show Mario's wife, and she takes care of monkeys. I guess they would take care of monkeys, but she is obsessed with these monkeys. And she shows these closets full of baby clothes for holidays and all sorts of things. And then she kind of joked that she loves them more than her own children. I'm sure she was joking, but they love animals, and she's just crazy about her monkeys, and they have this life now. And then she's showing, the wife is showing pictures, right? And there's a picture of Doc Antle, and in this book, this is his book or whatever. And the interviewer, you can hear him saying, well, what is he a doctor of? And she's like, with a smile.
Yeah,
on
she
her
totally
face.
digs
and
it. She's like digging
friends.
it, man. Yeah.
She goes, yeah. Yeah, she's like, mystical science? Like, I have never heard of mystical
I'm going to look into that, though.
Yeah,
but
do it.
I have a feeling he made it up, and then he got a doctorate in something he made up himself. That's my idea. That's what I think happened here. So then, what do we start talking about? Doc's wives. How many wives does he have? And everyone has
the best part.
This montage is so awesome. It's so great.
Doc has 4 wives. I don't know, 9.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Some of them are saying, oh yeah, he's got 2, 3 wives. Someone's like, he's got 5 and 6 wives. And then they show a picture of, a bunch of women looking away from you with tigers, like they're walking away. And that's like the pictures of his wives. And there's 5 in that picture, but they're saying right now has 3. Right. Okay. So then let's go through how this came to be. So Doc had a apprentice program, and people or women would come as teenagers. Yeah. Of course, we want those teenagers working. And the first one that they showed, he is describing her as that blonde one over there. Right. That's China. And she came here when she was 17 years old. And this Italian one over here is Rajani. She's been there for 20 years. Then they show this beautiful blonde girl, and he's like, that's Mocha. The one big teeth and a smile. Yeah, she's been here for 16 years. Like, this is how he's describing his wives. The one with big teeth? Yeah, that's one of my wives. So then he's, driving around on his golf cart, and he's like, well, that's her house. That's her house. And they all have different houses.
Right.
And they're huge houses, too. They're like crazy mansions. Right.
Yeah, I'm actually a little pissed. I mean, maybe I can make that change now. Maybe now is the time to, look into the wife thing. But I don't think he would want me, and I'll tell you why. Well, I would tell him no all the time, for sure. And then we end up talking to Barbara Fisher. So it shows like this really cold place in Ames, Iowa. And we meet Barbara Fisher. And she's just like this really sweet, like easygoing gal. And she's sitting in a chair and just kind of telling her story. And she worked there from 1999 to 2007. And she was very young. She was a teenager, and she had read about this amazing place, a utopia, right? A utopia. And they are vegetarians. And right there, let's stop. I'm not going now. Okay. I eat meat like a crazy person. But she read, they're vegetarian. They do yoga. They work with animals. And she was like, hell yeah, sign me up. Okay. So she was all about it. She was all about going. She goes. And the interviewer asked her, like, oh, well, what does Bhagavan mean? Like, she kept calling Bhagavan. Like, what does that mean? And she kind of like laughs, and she's like, it means Lord. Bhagavan. Like, we called him like Lord, basically. Which is such a cult leader thing to do. Like, call me Lord in another way. Sure. But when you ask Doc Antle, he's like, oh, it means friend of God. I'm just a friend of God. No. I don't think that's what it means. So then Barbara, she's so sweet. She's talking about when she's first there, that they're like living in horse stalls. Don't with sign me up for
everywhere.
That. Ew. With cockroaches and her sandwiches. Oh my God. Barbara, why? She said that Doc would say, like, you're this garbage person, but if you listen to me, you can be great. So very, very cult leader thing to do. Right. you're trash. You are nothing without
Mhm.
me. Do what I say and you'll be great. Like, oh my God, just to a T, right? And I think we can all agree, anytime you hear Doc talk or hear about the things
Yeah.
that he's done, he's very
Well,
smart.
yeah, he's a money
Right?
man.
He
He's
is.
very,
Yes.
you know, he's a businessman, but
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, he's
You know,
calculated.
I wanted to go back when they
He's
were
very
talking about
calculated.
Bhagavan. Then you hear this like other voice come in, like not on the screen, like it's a voice, and you see Doc kind of walking away, and you hear someone go, "Oh, Bhagavan is the master of the universe."
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he comes on the screen, and I forget what his name is, but he's the son. He's Doc's son. And he says he's all knowing, all seeing kind of guy. And it's like his son's even like brainwashed into this bullshit.
Yeah.
No, but what I thought was interesting, if you watch it, his son says in his own mind. He said, yeah, he's the Lord in his own mind. So it was a little bit of a dig that you would hear from your child, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he thinks he's great, right?
God.
Yes, it was. I heard it. I'm like, good for you. Yeah, you know what's up. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why Doc Antle would not be interested in the red. Okay. He wanted the virgin. He wanted the virgin so bad.
Oh, I know.
Or an almost virgin. You hear what she says?
Yeah.
An almost virgin. What the hell's that?
What?
He like went after teenagers. Disgusting.
Yes. Super grody, man. So I would not be his cup of tea. I got some city miles. I've been married for like 20 years. So yeah, I'd just be like,
City.
you're
I like how
doing
you just said city miles.
Yeah, city miles. That's what that is called now. I am moving my paper. That's for my notes. No judgment. So I love this part. So Barbara is saying he liked the virgin. He liked the virgin. And that these chicks would say, because they're in a cult now, that being with him was called Shaktipa. And he was like, what is Shaktipa? Like, what does that mean? And she was kind of like laughing as she said it, like that when you had sex with him, you would become enlightened, right? And she was making it look like, hey, yeah, it wasn't that great. Nobody became enlightened, okay?
He had enlightened you with his penis.
That's right. That she was like, that's it. I don't feel enlightened, okay? So that's what she was talking about. So Shaktipa.
Yeah, she says his touch brings you up to his level.
Right. Shaktipa. I just I'm gonna say that to my hubby all the time. I'm gonna get some Shaktipa. Enlighten me. Boom. So then we get back to Joe, who we love you, Joe. We're back to Joe and his eyeliner perfection. Boom. And we did talk about it probably being tattoo eyeliner.
Yeah.
Okay. We should all look into tattoo eyeliner because it's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whoever.
I guess we could look at his mugshot and see if he actually has eyeliner in his mugshot.
Yeah.
Or not.
If it looks perfect in his mugshot, we should go to Bumfuck, Oklahoma and find whoever did it and have them do it to us.
I always want liner on my waterline because I can't, because I wear contacts all the time. So yeah, I'm for it. Let's do it.
I honestly, you guys, I have the perfect girl for you. Like, honestly, when the quarantine is all said and done, I have someone. She is amazing. Everyone in Santa Clarita has to do it there.
Okay, who is it? Just tell me. Tell me right now.
Her name is Jennifer Boyd, and she owns Jen Boyd Inc. It's in Newhall on Main Street. She did my eyebrows, and now she's doing eyeliner too. She can give you the wing. She can do whatever. She's amazing.
What did she do to your eyebrows?
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
But what did she do?
I got them microbladed.
Oh, they look really good all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Thanks.
Wow, she was doing microblading
I'm glad we
before.
brought this up. Oh, Timo.
Drink.
Drink for sure.
Just take a pause sometimes. take a pause. Okay. So Joe is talking, perfect eyeliner. Doc is my mentor, right? Doc is my mentor. And I don't think Doc would think that he's this close to Joe, but Joe definitely tries to learn and do what Doc does, right?
Uh-huh.
And Joe has 2 husbands, John, who we've met and we have fallen in love with. He's a sweet teddy bear.
Uh-huh.
And they showed John real quick, like kind of pushing his pants down. And he's got a tattoo in a special place. And it says, privately owned by Joe. I swear on everything. I can't get over this tattoo. I can't believe he did this. I really can't. It's crazy sound, especially when we learn a little bit more about their relationship. So he's got this tattoo, right, by his huraha. And then they showed this really cute guy, really cute.
Oh, I love him.
Yes, I love him too. And he's doing like this interview introducing himself that Joe had done because Joe records everything. And you hear Joe after the set say, tell him about your feet. Tell him about your feet. And Travis is like, well, I wear size 16 shoes, got big hands. Like they're making some kind of like, he's got a big dick. Okay, that's what they're saying. And he's just this young thing. He's 19 years old. He's got this beautiful tan that I will never have. And he is from Southern California. And he just seems very like surfer dude.
And
right? Right? He's 6'6". He's just a good looking guy. Right?
Yes.
And so then Joe is telling this story. Okay. So Joe, Saf, and Travis are in the back of a van going to who knows where, doing who knows what. And he says to Travis, well, how straight are you? Right? And Travis says, well, pretty straight. Right? Well, do you watch porn? Yeah, I watch porn. Well, do you like the porn with like the guy with the little one or the big one? And Travis is like, well, the big one. Well, you ain't that straight then. And that's how Joe figures out how gay or straight you are, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So then it cuts to a wedding. Oh, my God.
Matching pink shirts.
Pink shirts. They've got the flowers. I can't even think of it. The boutonnieres. It's cowboy theme. Theme with pink cowboy theme. I want everyone to take that in. And all 3 of them are lined up and they say I do. It's just wow. It's just awesome to watch. I want everyone to watch this moment. It's just fantastic. I love it. I love it. So
can I say something real quick? The guys like John and is it John the husband?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
John and Travis kind of look like a deer caught in headlights at first.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all the way there or really know what's happening. And then
they're probably high.
They're high as fuck. And then when it's over, they're like, woohoo, because they probably think, okay, now we get a party. We're just going to a big party. We don't know what this is, but we're going to a party.
Yeah.
I think we figure out how this all came to be and why they have that deer in the headlights look the entire time. And I want to say at the wedding, they do hold up like some kind of cover from maybe the town did a story on them. And it says 3 Ring Circus, which I just thought was on point.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
So then it comes to Doc, right? And he's being very intense. And he's talking about how this lifestyle, what they do, it comes before anything else. It's 24/7, 365, weddings, funerals, everything else, out the door. This is what they do nonstop. This is a lifestyle, right? Nothing is more important than taking care of these animals. Nothing. And it's kind of crazy when he's saying that, but then you're also kind of getting a little bit of that cult feel again. At least I did, right? Where this is it. There's no time to think about anything else.
Right.
Mhm.
You're too tired to think about anything else, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's nonstop for them.
Well, even Barbara said that too, that she, it was exhausting and that all they did was work.
Yeah,
Right.
they got little sleep. It was like you're up early in the morning. You're working like these crazy hours, and then you go to bed and you're super tired, but you got to wake up early again. And it's not like you work like 5 days a week. You're working 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You know?
Yeah, it's nonstop. And when you think about that, if you live that way, that would really wear someone down, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have the energy to fight anything. You would just kind of like go with the flow, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's kind of like cooking 3 meals a day in quarantine.
Oh my God, it's exhausting.
I gotta feed all these animals.
Yeah, the only reason why I continue to cook is because I also want to eat all the time.
Yep.
So they do an interview with one of his special lady friends, Moshka.
Moshka.
And I can't even read my
It's
writing.
Moksha. Moksha. Moksha.
Okay. So she is saying, and she is super cute. She's saying that they work from 8 a.m. to midnight every day. And the interviewer's like, what? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, what? And she's like,
yeah,
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Right? This is a lifestyle. So then we go back to Barbara. And she's like, yeah, they paid us $100 a week.
Wow.
And you're thinking, oh my God, they are working their asses off. They're only getting $100 a week. They have to have like weird kinky cult sex with an old guy. That sounds awful. So now we go to Tampa, Florida, and it shows Carole, and she's talking, and she says, I don't pay for animal care. People just do it for free.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, why would I pay them? So first you're like, oh my God, Doc, what are you doing? And then you go to Carole and she doesn't pay anybody anything.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that on this day that they were doing this interview, that they had 76 volunteers and family to come and help that day.
Right.
So she's got this crazy following of her own. She's just not married to a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want to talk about the color-coded system.
Okay.
Are we ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we learned that there is a very special color-coded system. Who is better than the rest? Right. So we start with red shirt, which red is my favorite color, and this kind of hurt my feelings, but that's just for beginners. Okay. Red shirt is beginner. And after 1 year, you get a yellow shirt. Now, yellow is a terrible color.
Yeah.
So you have to work your ass off to get a really terrible colored shirt. You have to work another year as a yellow to get your green shirt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're working your ass off. You've done red, yellow, green. Okay. So then at 5 years, you become a master keeper. And I really love this because this is when Carole says she starts recognizing.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
Right.
5 years.
So
what a bitch.
At 5 years, you're a master keeper. And you get to wear navy blue, which I look amazing in. And then they were saying, well, are there any other colors? Yes, there's royal blue. Royal blue is for interns that are trying to do the fast pace program. So they are working nonstop, completely trying to like kind of work through the program, of course, for free. She doesn't pay anyone. Yeah. She really wants to get to the master keeper level, right? All these interns. And she's talking, she's kind of like laughing, like she's like, really sad. I really don't know who they are until like maybe you're 5. And then I'm like, you keep coming around. She says that, and it's like, what
I know, right?
And there's this volunteer that she's kind of like joking with, and she's like, oh yeah, I work Christmas. I couldn't dare take Christmas off. I'm like, what is happening? So I feel like this is driven home over and over again. People are addicted to this. This is an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
If you have family and you are choosing to take care of animals and be a volunteer for crazy bitch Carole Baskins and not be with your family on Christmas Day, I feel like, oh my God, this is an addiction. That's what I think. People are addicted to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And how do they live? I mean, how do they work when they're just doing that?
I don't think they volunteer like all of their time. I think that
no,
like, you know, it's on the weekend. They go and like, you know, whatever, like they go on the weekend whenever they have free time.
Right. That's why that the Royal Blue intern is different, because they are full time trying to move up as fast as they can. Everyone else kind of like volunteers at a regular pace.
Okay.
Right.
So then they're showing her, and I would like to remind everyone that this psychopath, Carole, said that she doesn't look at newspapers or watches
She's a freaking liar.
Right? But she's all over social media, and she's talking about how she has over 2.4 million followers on Facebook, and that blew my mind.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. And she's super fucking annoying. She's so annoying. And then it comes to this infamous scene that everybody is talking about. She is looking at a computer, making a video, and she says, hey, cool cats and kittens. And you're like, she has 2.4 million followers, and she just is the most annoying person ever. It like blows your mind. The moment she says, hey, cool cats and kittens, my hubby's like, oh, she's awful. She's a terrible person. Yes, that is correct. So then she was saying, after we learned that she doesn't pay anybody, right? She doesn't pay anyone. Facebook every 2 weeks sends her a check for $23,000
a week. What?
And that's because of how many followers she has. And sometimes it's more.
Right.
And then Doc is like talking shit. Like, she got into the social media like way early. She's got 200 million views on YouTube. So maybe people are watching this because they're like, holy shit, I can't believe this. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Right? We like to watch train wrecks. I feel like she's a train wreck.
Yeah,
she's a hot mess. So then they cut to a music video.
Oh, I love it.
The music
Let me
videos.
Tell you, oh my God. I this was at the point where I'm like, is this fucking real? Like, are they watching like someone did some shit towards them, like, you know, like made up something goofy for them? No, this is their true thing.
Yeah, they're taking it very seriously. They are like watching this video with the guy that made the documentary, right? Her and Howard are sitting on a leopard print couch. They're sitting like robots. They don't even look human.
No. And
they're watching this music video of this really cute, like, redhead singing to tigers. Okay. Right. And she is spinning in this really cute skirt. Honestly, I wish I had her body and I had that skirt. She looks super cute. But the music video is beyond, right? It's just beyond. And at one point, Carole like taps Howard on the knee like, oh, we're normal people. But it wasn't normal. It made me feel uncomfortable, and I should take a shower now.
Yeah.
Because they like touched each other. It was crazy town all the way.
Yeah. I feel like all their interactions make me squeamish, you know? Like all of them. It's just Ugh.
Can we
All
talk
of
about the
them.
song though?
Yes.
Beautiful, Wild, and Free. Um, by Therese. That was the girl. It wasn't that great.
You should sing it.
It wasn't.
Timo,
No.
sing it. It wasn't that
Beautiful,
great,
wild,
but you
and
know what is
free.
great?
Beautiful, wild, and free.
You're really nailing it. You're hitting those
But then
octaves.
they pan
Good job.
to the producer guy, and he has this look on his
Yes.
face like, what the fuck am I listening to?
He's uncomfortable, and he knows in his soul everyone's going to watch this and just go,
Oh my God.
they just can't believe it. They cannot believe it. So I feel like Joe definitely wins for best music videos.
Absolutely.
Way better than
Yes,
Carole
yes.
Baskin's. Yes?
Yes.
All right. And she's like, and everywhere we go, people are like, I love your music videos. Yeah, they laughed at him, and they're just can't believe that they're meeting you.
Oh
you crazy
my
bitch.
God.
Mhm.
Right. So then we cut to Doc, right? And Doc is like, I don't understand what Carole's got going on. She's got like this really shitty backyard situation going on. It looks like shit. And she only has 12 cats at her big cat rescue, right? Like how does that work that she only has 12 cats at this place that people are going and doing tours and all this stuff, right? That doesn't make sense. Because we know Doc has a ton of animals. We know Joe has a ton of animals. And she's over here with 12 cats. And Joe is saying that one time he paid his fees to go in and do a tour at Big Cat Rescue. Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did this,
That's
right?
the best.
And yeah, he went and they videotaped it. Of course, right? And they're doing this tour, and you hear the tour guide saying, yeah, we don't like touch the animals, totally hands off. Like they're not playing and loving on these animals like Mario is, like Joe is, like Doc is, right? Like we would be with our pets, right? They don't do that. And he's showing their cages. He's like, they're these tiny, like little cages, and they're like filled with weeds, right? And he's like, they're like knee height, and it really does kind of look like a kind of shady situation, right? And John is like, yeah, it really pissed off Joe because she's got this kind of crappy looking zoo going on or rescue, and the USDA keeps giving her perfect inspection scores, and Joe can't get one good score, right? So I'm flipping my paper. Notes. So Joe says he sees 12 cats. Where are the other 100 cats that she's claiming to have? Right. So Joe, Big Ball Joe, goes into the gift shop and he introduces himself. Of course he does. And then he tells them, hey, in a couple hours, look up in the sky and you'll see something, right? So they get into this helicopter and they fly over the Big Cat Rescue, right? And what happens?
Oh, that poor little cat.
Yeah, that cat Nala.
No,
that cat had a seizure.
It was so sad. Narla the cat had a seizure, and her legs were like all going out in weird ways. Right? Oh my God. I really hate that, seeing the state of that cat. It was really sad. But they drive this helicopter over, and John, who is kind of looking scared as he's telling us this, he's like, Joe was getting these kind of crazy ideas that maybe they should be pulling the pin and dropping grenades on top of the Big Cat Rescue. And we see this over and over again. Joe says things you don't say. Right? That when he says them, you're like, yeah, that is terrifying. I would be scared if someone was saying that, right?
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Doc is showing this liger.
Oh, come here, little man. Come here, little man.
I thought ligers were fake. Did you guys know ligers?
Yeah, I didn't know
real?
that was real either, because that's one of my most favorite lines in Napoleon Dynamite when he's drawing it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What is that?" He's all, "It's basically my favorite animal. It's a liger." And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was something that he made up.
I did too. So I do feel bad. And he was like, "This is a liger." And this liger was 9 months old, but it was big. It was big. And he said, like, if it was a big one, it would end up being like 900
and 11
pounds.
feet standing straight up.
Yes.
It's
That's
humongous.
massive.
Yes. So scary.
It really is crazy. So he's playing with this liger, and all of a sudden Doc goes, and that shitty chain wasn't clean right now. My shirt is ruined, obviously, to one of his wives.
So passive aggressive, and it's like, you're going to get beat later, bitch.
Okay, so there's several layers here. Let's walk through it.
He owns them.
One, Doc knows he's being filmed, and he is a very smart guy, and he still is talking shit to his wife on camera, which always goes, if they're willing to do that in front of people, what are they doing behind closed doors?
Oh, yeah.
I always think that, right? Yes. And then she immediately says, "I'm sorry." And I think, are you fucking kidding me? I have been married for 20 years. If my husband's like, "Well, now my shirt's ruined because you didn't clean this chain," it would be on time to fight, right? Like, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So you can see that he really runs that shit, right? So we go to Tim Stark, right? The guy that owns the wildlife place. And he goes, "I idolize Doc, right? Because he had all these animals and he had all these women. And when he went to go visit one, he even said, like, don't tell me how you train these animals. You tell me how you train those women."
Yeah.
I cannot get over this. Just the male chauvinists, they do not treat these women like women. These women are not thinking for themselves. The women are talking, they're doing like little interviews here and there, and one of them says, like, "Yeah, we're wearing like these outfits," and of course he picked out all of our outfits. They're like sexy animal print outfits. They're totally dressed up, and just the thought of him being so controlling to pick them all out for them, because they can't do that. They're incapable, right? They're incapable of picking out their own outfits. It just shows like kind of what they're living with, and that had been going on. They had been there, what he said, some of them had been there for 20 years. Yeah, that is not my scene.
Also, isn't that the part where Barbara says they just kind of made the appointment for her and she went in and got implants?
Yeah, so we get to Barbara and she's talking about how this change kind of happens. Like, she talks about how he changes all of their names, and her name was changed to Bala, like legally. And she goes, and then they, said, you're going to get these implants, and they didn't even ask her yes or no. They made the appointments, and what was so effing sad about this is she was like, "Well, I've been working hard, and if I get these implants, I can sleep for a few days while I recover." And I've been so sad. She got the implants so she could get some time off, y'all. So there's no sick time at Doc Antle's. That made me so sad. But her boobs look good. They showed her. She looked good.
Yeah.
Good call. Again, I mean, I would try to be in his love cult for implants, right? If he covered the cost.
Yeah, but that's another way if he controls them. He's like, you got to have like, the perfect this and perfect that, whatever.
Right.
I mean, if he wants to pay for it, I'll do it. Whatever. It's cool. Whatever. Okay. So then we have Joe, and he's like, "Doc has his cult and I have mine. Doc's a little more upscale. Mine are people just out of prison." But I think Joe is really aware of the situation, right? Doc does have a cult.
Yeah.
He does. Joe does have a cult. They're just done with very different people, but they're both very eccentric, controlling people, right? It's just crazy. And then Saf is talking about how, you know, he hires people who don't have other options. So people who, I mean, they showed that one woman who they don't have any other options. And he's like standing there saying like, hey, you can sleep in this mobile home if you work at the zoo. Right. And she was like happy crying that someone was going to be so nice. Right. It's just these people have had really hard lives. And, you know, if it's semi-decent, they will work hard and they won't leave them. And it is kind of like their own like family, misfit family. And then they're talking about, you know, some of these workers, and one of them is like, well, it keeps me out of trouble. And one of them is like, keeps me sober. So that's really good that it's good for them. But Joe doesn't care that those things are happening. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Joe's like, yeah, I'm doing this to keep people sober. No, it's just cheap labor for him. It's just easy labor. And they're saying he pays $150 a week. And what did that guy say? It was like actually like 138, 26. I don't know, whatever. He really broke it down. Like what it was.
Yeah, that was funny. And then they said that he has someone call him from the town bus station, where if they see somebody that gets off and they're still hanging around like by the evening time, they'll call Joe and say, hey, Joe, there's someone here you might want to come get.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's when we were talking to this woman, you know, and she's thrilled. It just that there's so many people that have had such hard lives, and that like was life changing for them, right? To work at a zoo and get a place to sleep at night, and it makes you think how lucky and blessed we are. Okay, we all have bad days, but we are really lucky and blessed, really. Absolutely. And so then Eric is talking, and he's talking about the meat truck, and this is God,
that whole scene is so disgusting.
It makes me really sad, you know, like they get this meat.
It's Walmart. It's the meat, the meat trash or whatever.
And Joe is saying, like, if you get meat from the deli, right, and you try to check out and your card declines, they can't put it back. They've got to expire it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how all of that works, but obviously he knows how to play the system, and he's getting this expired meat. But before they give it to the animals, all the employees go through it. And they're showing like these mounds of meat, like in a pile. It just seems so unsanitary and sad to me. It makes me really sad. And then Rick Kirkman is saying, there was like 4 mobile homes there, and they were like shitty, right? And they're showing
like no running water, no air conditioning.
Yeah, the nicest one had air conditioning sometimes, but it could get up to 120 where they live. So that it was not, they weren't living in a good place or anything.
And they're walking through that mobile home too, and it's just like people are squatting in there.
Right.
It looked like they were squatting, and then you think, okay, are these people doing drugs? Are these drug addicts that are living here? That's what it kind of looked like. Do you know what I mean? It did to me. And then they had like they were showing drawers, and there was a rat running around in their drawers. It was nasty. It was really sad. It made
there's
me
this one part, and I'm sure it was like a while back when they're going back and forth from everybody, and it was Travis and Joe sitting on a couch, and they had a baby tiger laying on its back across them, and they're all rubbing its
Mhm.
tummy and Joe's kissing on it. Go back and watch this part and look at Travis's face. They're watching TV or doing something, but Travis has this look on his face, which is totally foreshadowing what is to come of this poor kid. And this guy had to be so stoned and high out of his mind.
Oh, I know the moment you're talking about,
Yes,
he is
he's
out
out
of
of his
board
mind.
high.
Sure.
High, yes. But I had to rewind it. I rewound it a
we
couple
will
times.
talk
I'm like,
about that later.
holy fuck,
Yeah.
look at his face.
Mhm.
Oh,
I was
gosh.
so jealous. I'm like, what the fuck? So we go back to Barbara, Bala, and she said that when she was there with Doc, like working there, he told her men are pigs
Mhm.
and women are sheep. And oh god, I just need to take a shower when I hear things like that. Women are not sheep, but men are pigs. So,
You know, it was really sad in either case. Like, so whether you're Doc or you're Joe, even the people that volunteer for that bitch Carole Baskin, is, you know, we talk about like the cult, you know, like the atmosphere that they're in, and it really is. Each one of them have kind of like a cult type thing going on, whether it be like these people that came out of jail that are like hard up for whatever. You know, they technically could leave whenever, but they go on to mention how like these social ties and that not just the need for the power of handling the big cat, but the social ties that they make with each other, like all the wives, you know, all these like the motley crew at Joe's place, like they all hang out and they create these social ties, and you can't just leave. That's your family.
Right.
And so these people, they bank on that, you know, they know that they're not leaving here. They're going to continue to do my work, even if I'm feeding them off the meat truck.
Right, because this is their only family, right? They don't have anything else, right? That's a lot of, you know, a lot of cults, a lot of, you know, certain religions are like that too. Like if you leave, you are cut off, and your family cuts you off. You know, it's really sad.
Yeah,
you're right.
If you were,
absolutely. So
if you were to leave, where are you going to go? You're not going to have as good as you have it now. In their minds, they have it good. You know, they have a place to sleep. They're being clothed. They have food. They're getting some type of love, whether it be from the other girls or whatever. If you leave that, what's going to happen to you? You're not going to have it the way you have it then. So you stay with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And it's really sad. So Barbara's talking about, you know, being able to work with these tiger cubs, and she really connects with this one tiger cub, Lachman, right? And this is her favorite tiger. This tiger really listens to her commands, and, you know, she's really working and connecting. And they're like, oh, well, what happened to this tiger? Like, well, what happened? And she kind of like even clams up, and she goes, you know, I don't know what happened to him. Nobody knows what happens to him. Doc just says it's his business. He knows, and we don't need to worry about it, which is just like, oh my God, what happened to this cute tiger? You see this picture of this really sweet cute tiger. And, you know, we go back to Tim from the wildlife business, and he's like, you know, you can't keep them all. Yep. It's bad business. It's just a bill, right? Because they can only make money from the young ones. So once they hit a certain age, all you're doing is paying them to eat, right? That's what you're doing. And he said there's a rumor that, you know, Doc euthanizes these tigers when he's done with them. And then you're like, like all these people you see who are obsessed with animals, is there a chance that they're also killing these animals, right? Because it's a business. It makes you so sad. So then Mark, we're back to, you know, Mark, who was like Mario's guy, and he's saying something kind of crazy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I forget.
This is where the bomb drops. This is the moment. And I'm like, what? The first time I was watching this, it blew my mind. He's like, oh yeah, Carole, she thinks she's so great, but guess what? Her husband just up and vanished. And one of the interviewers was like, wait, what?
Right.
Like, they didn't even
Say
know.
again? What?
They didn't even know. They're like, what do you mean? Her husband just vanished, right? And Carole's like, oh, it's just like good gossip for them to say I fed him to the tigers.
Fucking Carole.
And then they show it like on the news, they're talking about how her husband disappeared and how the ex-wife and his daughters think that Carole fed him.
Let's back up a little bit, because I was telling the girls earlier that this is the third time that I've watched episode number 2, and I just keep on finding stuff that I forgot or I didn't hear the first time around. And they're talking about how Doc supposedly, allegedly euthanizes his tigers once he can't use them anymore. And then Carole starts talking about how a whistleblower told her that they heard a gunshot in the middle of the night and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, you'd have to have at least 2 people to dispose of that body. It's pretty heavy.
Yes.
And I'm like, holy shit, did she just say that? Because and then that opened the
and
door
then she
to
goes,
everyone talking about how her husband disappeared and how they think she fed him to the tigers. I was like, they did that so perfectly. I know that was totally intended, but it was like, oh my God, you have to dispose of a body. It was so great.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. She was like, yeah, you would need like a lot of guys to move him, or maybe they just cut up the body there. Like, this bitch
right. And then she said, you only trust your inner circle, the few people that you have some stuff on that you can get them to do stuff for you. I was like, girl, you're talking about when you fucking killed your husband.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Everyone is such a different, amazing character. And I think that's what makes this series just so fun and fantastic, right? They're all nuts. It's all crazy. And we're dealing with the quarantine, and I will eat this up all day, every day.
It never gets old. I can watch it over and over and over again. I never get bored. And now that I'm finding new shit every time I watch it, it's even better. It is.
It's the gift of quarantine. So we're still going to be covering the Tiger King for a while, right?
Yes.
We need this for our sanity.
Absolutely.
But what I feel helps, personally, is when people reach out to us and just kind of like gives us that little boost. Like, we hear from people like we're getting them through the day, right? They're still working, and they're listening to us, and it's kind of helping them out. And that feels really good. I'm still working, right? I listen to podcasts. It helps me out. So when you take a moment, and it really does take a moment just to hit us up either on Instagram or Facebook or email us. It does so much to us. And then we, of course, text each other and squeal like little girls. We just love it.
Oh my God, someone left us a message.
It's true. It's so true. We celebrate every time. We love it. And we say thank you. We want everyone to stay safe, of course. And when you're at home staying safe, check out the website.
Yes.
Because you have the time. Okay. Okay.
Handcuffs and
the
Sage
website is
podcast.com.
Yes. And then our
handcuffs
Gmail
and Sage
is
at gmail.com.
Perfect. And we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then if you want to support us or just send us some wine, that's fine too.
Yeah,
check out our
Patreon / handcuffs and Sage.
So we're everywhere doing everything, and we want everyone to stay safe. And on that note, remember, we do what we want. Okay. Woo! Okay. Happy Easter, everybody.
Guess what? That all cut off for me.
Oh no. Okay, we'll do it one more time for Timo, but that's it.
Okay.
Remember, we do what we want. That sounded horrible. I love it. Okay, keep that.
It's all right. Okay.
Whatever. I was getting a call.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye. Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Trey in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.